Alright, how's it going, y'all? So today I was originally planning on releasing a video about how my Knoxville Regionals tournament run went. However, we just got the news about the new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC that will be coming out later this year, and along with that we were also given two new Paradox Pokemon to hunt for in raids. We got Walking Wake, which is the water dragon past form of Suicune, and we got Iron Leaves, which is the psychic grass future form of Virizion. So there's definitely, some ways that you might want to run both. The homie Scrawl VGC said that he thought Groudon was going to become a lot more irrelevant because of Walking Wake, but what I want to talk about today is the fact that when I looked at Walking Wake, I thought to myself, this thing is going to pair amazingly with Groudon. Like, when we get into a format where we can run Groudon and Walking Wake together, we're going to start seeing some really interesting stuff happening. So, I built a few teams that I wanted to just kind of look at with you guys and talk a little bit about, and to also just talk about why I think Walking Wake and Groudon are going to be so good together, right? So, jumping right into it, let's just talk about Groudon and Walking Wake first. But if you do enjoy the content, consider giving a like and subscribe. I do appreciate y'all. We are growing that channel, you know what I mean? And so, the thing about Groudon and Walking Wake, obviously Groudon is there to provide the drought, which is really good for Walking Wake because that activates photosynthesis and gives it that special attack boost. But there's also ways that I think Terra-wise they can also support each other very well. If you think about Walking Wake being a water dragon Pokemon, one of its best Terras is going to be Fairy. And what do you end up being weak against when you're a Fairy Pokemon? You end up weak against Steel types, which technically you already have your own Flamethrower for, but you're also weak to Poison types. So, Steel and Poison, common weakness, is Ground. So right there, already Groudon helps check the Steel, the Terra weaknesses of Walking Wake, which is just really nice. Then, if we maybe give Groudon a Grass Terra type, Grass is bad against things like, Fire, which Hydro Steam pretty much just destroys, even in Sun. So, we've got some really good synergy there. It's also good against Ice, obviously, which we have Flamethrower for on Walking Wake. And so, I think there's just some really interesting ways that these two Pokemon's not only typings, but like desired Terra typings pair very well together, and I think that's really cool. You know what I mean? So, on this team, I kind of just figured maybe run like an AV Groudon and a Life Orb Walking Wake. I think AV Groudon is going to be very good, the same way that we're kind of seeing like AV Tyranitar be really good, but it's going to be even better than AV Tyranitar. It's going to be very bulky. It doesn't have as bad of super effectives on it, so running a Groudon with like Precipice Blades, Rock Slam, Heavy Slam for things like Flutter Mane, and Terra Blast for things like Kyogre, if you get in front of a Kyogre that has not Terra'd yet, right? Because, a Grass Terra AV Groudon is gonna just eat up a Ice Beam. It's definitely eating up a Water Spout, especially in the sun. and that Grass Terra Terra Blast is gonna just punch. So, I think that's a really cool way to run Groudon. Life Orb Walking Wake, Flamethrower, Hydro Steam, Breaking Swipe, and Protect. You could definitely replace Breaking Swipe. I know that there's certainly better moves. Breaking Swipe is kind of like supportive, right? So you could just run like Dragon Pulse, Draco Meteor, Terra Blast. There's a lot of things that you could run besides Noble Roar, right? There's a lot of things that you can run besides Breaking Swipe, but all in all, you know, I think Breaking Swipe is just a great supported move, and it makes Walking Wake a little bit more versatile, right? You do get the, if you still go 252 plus 252, you do still get this special attack boost, which I'm assuming was very intentional on the Pokemon Company's part, right? So, like, they probably thought about this stat dispersion, and then they were like, ooh, maybe don't give it 110 speed, like, give it 109 so that it can still get the Photosynthesis special attack, even when it's timid nature. And, yeah, so going across the rest of the team, I just thought, you know, maybe we could do Groudon Walking Wake with Flutter Mane, Iron Bundle, Amoonguss, and Gothitelle. So Iron Bundle is going to be great for not only like speed control, but using Freeze Dry on opposing Groudons, Walking Wakes, Kyogres. Iron Bundle is going to put in work, let's be honest. Like, in a format with these Pokemon running around, Iron Bundle is going to check like every one of them. Iron Leaves, checked. Like, you know what I mean? This thing is nuts. So we have Iron Bundle because we also have Fake Out Gothitelle with Shadow Tag. That means that this would be a very good Perish Song team. So we can also run Perish Song Flutter Mane with Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Protect, and Perish Song with that Fire Terra. And that's just gonna, you know, really force your opponent into some tough positions sometimes. If you just like set up a very commanding early game, then, you know, I mean, Walking Wake and Groudon are going to be able to do a lot, and if you can whittle things down, like, yeah, you're just going to Perish Song, right? And I mean, there'll even be instances where maybe you can do crazy stuff, like just leading Fake Out Perish Song, like we saw in you know, the match with, I'm pretty sure his name was Jacob, Justin, Panda. Let's just call him Panda. But, you know, Panda played that Perish Song team really well at the Knoxville Regionals to win. And, you know, we got to see how, like, even just clicking Perish Song on turn 1 can get you really far sometimes. Lastly, we've got that Covert Cloak Amoonguss, pretty standard. I think this would be really good on this team just to, like, allow Bundle and Flutter to set up, as well as Walking Wake and Groudon, right? Like, Groudon Amoonguss is still going to be an amazing lead versus a lot of things. But, you know, what I think what Amoonguss provides to this team would be really good, but, you know, it really helps pressure Trick Room as well, which, like, this team does like Trick Room. You can set up Trick Room and make things a huge problem with, like, Spore, P-Blades, right? But I think ultimately Amoonguss is more going to be used just for, like, that redirection and pressuring other people not to click Spore, not to click Trick Room. And then obviously we have Clear Smog for things like Dondozo, right? So that's always nice. Lastly, yes, we have that Gothitelle with Fake Out Psychic, Hypnosis, and Taunt. So this is a very standard Gothitelle. I just think, you know, based on the way this team started turning out, I was like, oh, this would be a great Gothitelle team. So, I want to move on to the next version of the team I made just to save time, but, you know, for EV purposes, you could probably take a little bit off of one of these and put a little bit more in special attack, just to give it a little more surprise punch with that Psychic, but that's going to be the first, and let's talk about the second Groudon Walking Wake team that I came up with. So secondly, I came up with a Talon Tusk idea. We've got the pretty much the same Groudon Walking Wake going on here, right? And then, you know, it's just nice to have speed when you're doing a team like that, so you might want to also have Tailwind. You could have a non-prankster Taunt, which is really strong right now. And then, you know, obviously just the Tusk is great. So, you slap a Talon Tusk on it, you can do like really big pressure in the beginning game, bring in Groudon later to bring up the power on Flare Blitz, or to just continue sweeping, right? You do have to be careful about the fact that Iron Bundle, again, is like really good against a lot of these Pokemon. So like Iron Bundle would just absolutely sweep these top 3 or 4 Pokemon. and it would honestly do pretty good against Flutter Mane as well. But if you can position your Terra types correctly, I think that wouldn't be as big of a problem. We might actually want to run something like a just straight up, I don't know, like let's say we change this to a defensive Terra and go with like Steel Terra, just because Iron Bundle really can't hit that for that big of damage. Like, it could click Hydro Pump, but if we have that, we should at least be able to handle a bundle before it can handle us. In an ideal world. You know what I mean? And rounding the team off, we just keep that Gothitelle Flutter Mane core. So this is basically like a Series 4 or something adaptation of the very strong Perish Trap Talontusk team that's going around right now, right? So a lot of the top teams at Knoxville were this Talontusk, Flutter Mane, Gothitelle, or at least just Talontusk, Gothitelle teams. And you know, Flutter Mane being that Perish Song user is kind of like, well, yeah, okay, so also Flutter Mane. But if you need to fill your other 2 slots, I mean, Groudon and Walking Wake are going to be amazing. And synergistically with this team, I think, you know, once we get around to a format that can do this, it's a very viable possibility. So, super fun stuff. I'll be providing all the Poke Pastes for this, of course. And so, you know, if you want to try the teams, I did hear that maybe the format did start up, so that's kind of cool. So looking at this last team, I decided to go with a Citrus Berry Groudon on this one because I like Protect, and a lot of this team does not have Protect. So this Citrus Berry Groudon, I mean, I guess won't live special hits as well, but it's got bulk in some ways. We're still running the Life Orb Walking Wake. I just felt pretty good about Life Orb Walking Wake. I didn't toy too much with other sets. I mean, I looked at Assault Vest on this set, and then I think I gave Assault Vest to something else. No, I didn't. Okay. I just wanted to keep Protect, and I didn't put Life Orb on something else. That's why. So we have a Trick Room Imprison Focus Sash Flutter Mane on this team because this team actually does not want to be in Trick Room. That is because we have a Weakness Policy Armorogue, and, you know, Psychic Seed Indeedee, and of course Groudon. So the thing that's going to be really good about this combination is, I mean, Weakness Policy Armorogue is going to pair so well with Groudon, and Groudon's going to pair really well with Walking Wake, and Flutter Mane Bundle is a really good duo. So, like, right away, this team kind of just throws itself together as an amazing core. And, you know, I do want to point out that, like, I built all these teams in, like, 3 seconds. Like, I really didn't put that much thought into them. So, like, if anything, I think this just shows how good of a team builder I can be, just, like, throwing a core together right away. And then, like, if I actually sit there and refine what I'm doing, I think I can make, you know, really good stuff, which has, like, you know, extra considerations into the tech that makes sure it's going to be deadly, right? But as just, like, throwing the team together and just saying, like, yeah, these are the moves, like, yeah, this is a really deadly team right here. Like, this team is kind of nuts. So, starting off, right, you might do something with Flip Turn Booster Bundle going into Armorogue, and you might lead, like, Iron Bundle Armorogue, Indeedee, Groudon in the back, right? And that gives you the chance to either proc your Weakness Policy and then switch in the Sun for massive Heat Waves, or you switch in the Indeedee for massive Expanding Forces. If you don't want to use Expanding Force, you also have Stored Power to dunk on things, which you could change to Energy Ball, probably, if we're being honest. I think that might even be the best on this team. But just kind of based on the moves that the other Pokemon have, I also think Stored Power could be really good to keep as an option on Armorogue, right? So we do have that Weakness Policy Armorogue. Here we aren't even rocking, you know, Trick Room on this Indeedee because we have the Trick Room Imprison on Flutter Mane. This Indeedee has Psychic, Shadow Ball, Follow Me, and Helping Hand. Helping Hand, of course, is going to be great for if Armor is already doing Armor things, and you know, you just kind of want to click Helping Hand and dunk on things even harder. So let's lower the IVs on the Iron Bundle to make sure we're gonna not do as much damage as we want on Armor. You know, we want to lower that damage on our self proc. And of course, like I said, you know, just straightforward synergy with Flutter Mane Bundle. You know, it's a lot of the times really strong lead to just click Icy Wind, Dazzling Gleam, Icy Wind, Imprison against an opposing Flutter Mane. Icy Wind, you know, we don't have to go through all the other moves, right? Because now we're just naming moves, but he's got the moves. And so, yeah, I mean, I think you can just see pretty straightforward how this would just be an amazing team. Like, doing the weakness policy proc into Armor, you can switch in Groudon, you can switch in Indeedee. But if you're not feeling super strong about Armor, maybe you're going up against an opposing Torkoal or an opposing Armor. I think Walking Wake and Groudon are also going to check Armor pretty well. And Walking Wake is going to check Kyogre really well just based on its typing. You know, Water Dragon is like, yeah, I don't care, Kyogre, like, you're just chilling, bro. And, so, yeah, I mean, Walking Wake is going to be really good for countering Torkoals because it's not going to take a lot of damage from Torkoal. It's going to be really good for countering, like, Kyogre, Groudon. So in a format where we can use all these things, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. And I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this little, like, this little exploration of what could be to come if we do get a format where, you know, we have not only Walking Wake and Iron Thorns, but things like Groudon, Kyogre, and who knows what else as well, you know? Maybe we can get some Registomps back, maybe some Lugias. I mean, Reggie is, you know, I don't think we'd be super excited to see Reggie come back. It would definitely make Iron Bundle a lot less relevant, but, you know, it would be something. So, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a good day.